Here now we are going to study the equations which are reducible to the pair of linear equations in two variables. What is meaning of this is, when we observe the original equations, they are not in the form of linear equations. Okay, because linear equations, the general form is what? Ax plus by is equal to c. That means x and y, they appear in numerator. Their degree is always plus 1. But here in the table you can see the equations where the variables, they are appearing in denominator. Okay, so in the present form they are not in the form of linear equations in two variables, but it is possible for us to reduce them to the pair of linear equations. Okay, so here let us complete the table. You can complete it by yourself also, because one answer is given to you. See, x and y has appeared in the denominator, so number of variables here are 2. But the equation is not very linear, because the degree of x and y is minus 1 here, and we don't want that. So here everywhere you will find that the equations are having two variables, namely x and y, but still the equations are not linear. So now here we are going to study how to solve such equations. Okay, so let us take one example from practice set 1.4, and I have choose this equation specially because the denominator is in the form of x plus y and x minus y. Comparatively the remaining sums are easy. Okay, so here the equation is 10 upon x plus y plus 2 upon x minus y is equal to 4, and second equation is 15 upon x plus y minus 5 upon x minus y is equal to minus 2. So you can observe here that the equations are having two variables, namely x and y, but still they are not linear equations. Okay, why? Because x and y, they appear in denominator. We don't want them in denominator. But by doing the suitable substitutions, we can convert these equations to the form of linear equations in two variables. Okay, so let us do the substitutions. Here what we are going to do is, we are going to first number the equations as 1 and 2, and here in place of 1 upon x plus y, we are going to write some other alphabet. Like for 1 upon x plus y is equal to a is taken here. Okay, so what we are going to do is substituting 1 upon x plus y is equal to a, and 1 upon x minus y is equal to b. Okay, so in the two equations, namely 1 and 2, we are going to replace 1 upon x plus y by a and 1 upon x minus y by b. Many students think that a and b will again appear in denominator, but it is not so. Please see it carefully. 1 upon x plus y we are going to write as a. So equation 1 is going to become 10a plus 2b is equal to 4. Okay, because we don't want variables in denominators, we have to take them in numerators. That is why we are substituting 1 upon x plus y as a and 1 upon x minus y as b. So the equations, new equations will be 10a plus 2b is equal to 4 and 15a minus 5b is equal to minus 2. So let us write those two equations. Okay, and number them as 3 and 4. Okay, so the new equations, 10a plus 2b is equal to 4, 15a minus 5b is equal to minus 2. We have numbered them as 3 and 4 respectively. Now you know all 4 different methods to solve the simultaneous equations. So here you can use any one method. Obviously you are not going to use graphical method, as I have said it is very lengthy. So you can use either the elimination method, you can use substitution method, you can use Cramer's rule also. It is your choice. Okay, but You know that elimination method is always very simple. So always try to make use of elimination method. Okay. So here you will observe that all the coefficients are different. No two coefficients are same here for any one variable. So we have to multiply both the equations. Okay. So let us do it. Multiplying equation 3 by 5 and 4 by 2. Why to multiply? Here you can observe that here 10 and 15 are quite big numbers. So equating them will be difficult. Instead, take help of the smaller numbers. So if we want to equate the coefficient of variable b, we have to multiply equation 3 by 5 and equation 4 by 2. So when we multiply, we get the new equations as 50a plus 10b is equal to 20. Number this as equation number 5, and 30a minus 10b is equal to minus 4. Number this as equation 6. Now observe these equations carefully. Observe the coefficients of b specially. Plus 10 and minus 10. They have opposite signs. They are equal and they are having opposite signs. So if we add these two equations, b will be eliminated. Okay, so we will add these two equations. Adding equations 5 and 6 we get. So write down equation 5 up and equation 6 down. So 50a plus 10b is equal to 20 plus 30a minus 10b is equal to minus 4. So plus 10b and minus 10b is cancelled. 50a plus 30a, that is 80a. And on right hand side 20 minus 4 is equal to 16. From that we can write a is equal to 16 upon 80. Please note that it is 16 upon 80. Generally what you think that how the smaller number will appear in numerator, but it is not so. Okay, you will see that 80 on the left hand side, that will come in the denominator on the right hand side. So value of a is 16 divided by 80, that is 1 upon 5. Now we can substitute this value of a is equal to 1 upon 5 in any one equation. Okay, equation number 3 or equation number 4, and we will get the value of b. So let us substitute a is equal to 1 upon 5 in equation 3, and then we get, see what is equation 3? 10a plus 2b is equal to 4. So in place of a we are writing 1 upon 5. You will find that a is replaced by 1 upon 5. So 10 into 1 upon 5 plus 2b is equal to 4. Now this 5 will get cancelled with 10. So what we will get? 2 plus 2b is equal to 4. From that 2b is equal to 4 minus 2 and 2b is equal to 2. And therefore value of b we will get as 1. Okay. So value of a is known to us, that is a upon 5, and value of b is 1. But don't stop here. Generally what you will think that we have found out value of a and b, so it's over, but it is not so. Please see that in the equations we have variables x and y. So we have to find the values of x and y here. Our final answer should be in the form of x is equal to and y is equal to. Okay. So since we have done the substitution for x and y, again we have to go for resubstitution. We have to resubstitute the values of a and b. Okay. So resubstituting the values of a and b, we get 1 upon x plus y is equal to 1 upon a, and 1 upon x minus y is equal to 1. Because in the beginning 1 upon x plus y was replaced by a and 1 upon x minus y was replaced by b. So we have to do the resubstitution. Now from this we are going to get two more equations. Okay, you will observe that the numerator is same, 1 and 1. So we can write down here x plus y is equal to 5 and x minus y is equal to 2. Okay, so these new equations we got. Number them as 7 and 8. See, there are so many equations here. This sum will come for 4 marks because it's a lengthy sum. Okay. So new equations we have got. They are very simple equations. You will observe that we have plus y and minus y. So simply by adding them, y will be eliminated and we will get the value of x. So let us add them. Adding equations 7 and 8, we get. So write down them one below another. X plus y is equal to 5 plus x minus y is equal to 1. Plus y and minus y is cancelled. X plus x is 2x and on right hand side 5 plus 1 is 6. And from that we are going to get x is equal to 6 divided by 2, that is x is equal to 3. We got a value of x as 3. Now we can substitute value of x in any one equation, either equation number 7 or equation number 8, and we can get the value of y. You know how to solve it now, okay? So let us put x is equal to 3 in equation 7. Equation 7 was what? X plus y is equal to 5. So replace x by 3 and from that you will get value of y as 2. Okay. So finally we have reached to the solution. So don't forget to write down the solution in the end. The solution of the equation is 3, 2. Or as I have said, you can write down x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 2. Okay. So this is a lengthy question, but it is an important question. Students, please note that. Don't ignore this. Okay. Practice it and definitely you will get it how to solve. Okay. So let's go further now. We have reached to the last part of the chapter now. That is application of simultaneous equations. That means we have to apply these simultaneous equations to solve word problems. Okay. So here the important part is, after reading the question, you must know how to frame the equations. Once you frame the equations, it is very easy to solve them because as I have said, you know now all the methods to solve the equations. So here framing the equations is the important part. You will find here that every question is having two different conditions. We have to make use of those two different conditions to frame the equations and then solve them. Okay. So let us start with the simple sum. Practice set 1.5. From that question number 1. Okay. Two numbers differ by 3. The sum of twice the smaller number and thrice the greater number is 19. Find the numbers. Okay. Read the question once. If you don't understand, read it again. Okay. And try to understand the question. So when you read it, what you will understand is one number is smaller and one number is greater. And we have to find these two numbers only. So there are two unknown numbers and those two unknown numbers we will take as x and y because we have to frame the equations in two variables. So always make use of the last statement to write down the first statement of solution. That you want to find those numbers, so those two numbers you take as x and y. But since smaller and greater is mentioned, you also mention that which is smaller and which is greater. That is, if you are taking x as smaller, then take y as greater and vice versa. But mentioning it is very much important. Okay, so let us start now. So let the greater number be x and the smaller number be y, as I have said. So make use of the conditions now. See what is the first condition. Two numbers differ by 3. That means difference between them is 3. So it's very simple that greater number minus the smaller number is 3. So greater number we have taken as x and smaller number we have taken as y. So the first equation is x minus y is equal to 3. So write down, according to the first condition, x minus y is equal to 3. Number these as equation number 1. Okay. Now see the second condition. The sum of twice the smaller number. Twice means 2 times. Okay, smaller number we have taken as y. So twice the smaller number means what? 2y. And thrice the greater number. Thrice means 3 times. So 3x. Okay. So let us write it. 3 times the greater number means 3x. And twice the smaller number means 2y. And their sum is given, means we have to add them. So according to the second condition, 3x plus 2y is equal to 19. Number these as equation 2. Okay. So by using both the conditions, we have framed two equations. Now as I have said, you have to solve them. You have to solve them simultaneously. We are making use of the elimination method always. So observe the coefficients here. You can equate any one coefficient. Either you can equate of x or you can equate of y. Here I am equating the coefficient of y because you will observe that the signs are opposite and adding is going to give me the answer. So I am equating coefficient of y. So multiplying equation 1 by 2. Why? Because in equation 2 the coefficient of y is 2. And in equation 1 also I want 2. So I am multiplying equation 1 by 2. So the new equation is 2x minus 2y is equal to 6. Don't forget to multiply on the right hand side also. Okay, in hurry what you are doing on multiplying on left hand side and you forget to multiply on right hand side. Don't do so. Here when we are multiplying the equation, we have to multiply each and every term. Okay. So the new equation is 2x minus 2y is equal to 6. Number these as 3. Now observe equation 2 and equation 3. In equation 2 we have plus 2y and equation 3 we have minus 2y. So if we add these two equations, y will get cancelled or y will be eliminated and we will get value of x. Okay, so let us add them. Adding equations 2 and 3. So simply write them one below another. As you can see, 3x plus 2y is equal to 19 plus 2x minus 2y is equal to 6. Plus y and minus 2y got cancelled and we got 3x plus 2x as 5x, and on right hand side 19 plus 6 is equal to 25. And when we solve, we are going to get x is equal to 5. Why? Because x is equal to 25 divided by 5. So value of x is 5. Now you can put this value in any one equation, either in equation 1 or in equation 2. Don't take third equation because third equation we have found out by multiplying. So it is not that simpler. Always take help of the simple equation. Okay. So let us put x is equal to 5 in equation 1. Because equation 1 was very simple. X minus y is equal to 3. So we have chosen equation 1. So replace x by 5 there. So what you are going to get? 5 minus y is equal to 3. From that minus y is equal to 3 minus 5. So minus y is equal to minus 2 and y is equal to 2. Okay, so we got the values of x and y. But here we don't have to write down the answer as ordered pair or solution. Why? Because it is a word problem and therefore our final answer should be in the form of statement. Okay, so you have to write down the final answer as a statement. Therefore, the greater number is 5 and the smaller number is 2. Okay, always keep in mind that final answer carries half mark. So don't forget to write it. Okay, I hope you have understood this sum. Let us solve one more sum. Okay. So I have taken question number 4 because it is different. It is of fractions. I am reading the question. The denominator of a fraction is 4 more than twice its numerator. Denominator becomes 12 times the numerator if both the numerator and denominator are reduced by 6 find the fraction. This is question. Okay, so here you will find that the question consists of two conditions. First condition is the denominator of a fraction is 4 more than twice its numerator. That means here you have to take numerator as x and denominator as y. Okay, because the conditions are in the form of the words numerator and denominator. So numerator we will take as x and denominator we will take as y. So if numerator is x and denominator is y, the fraction is x upon y, which we need to find. Okay. So after reading the question, all these things should come in your mind, that what I should take as x, what I should take as y, and what I have to find. Okay. Deciding this is very much important. Okay. So let us start it. As I have said, let us take the numerator as x and the denominator as y. Okay. So from that we can write down the required fraction as x upon y, which we need to find. Okay. So let the numerator of the fraction be x and the denominator of fraction be y, and therefore the fraction is x upon y. Now let's make use of the conditions. So by using the first condition we will write down equation 1. So let us read the first condition. The denominator of a fraction means what? Y. E stands for equal to 4 more than twice the numerator. Twice the numerator means 2x and 4 more means plus 4. So if we write it properly, what we are going to get? Y is equal to 2x plus 4. And then we have to write down the equation in standard form. That means x and y on the left hand side and the constant on right hand side. So when you write it in the standard form, you will get the equation as minus 2x plus y is equal to 4. Number this as 1. Okay. So by using the first condition, we got the first equation. Now let us make use of second condition. Denominator becomes 12 times the numerator if both the numerator and denominator are reduced by 6. Reduced by 6 means what? 6 is subtracted from both. Okay. We have to subtract 6 from numerator as well as from denominator. That is from x and y. Okay. So the denominator, new denominator will be what? Y minus 6. So let us write down the equation. According to second condition, y minus 6 is 12 times the numerator. So equal to 12 into new numerator, that is x minus 6. So let us solve this. So when we solve this, what we are going to get? Y minus 6 is equal to 12x minus 72. Now as I have said, convert it into the standard form. Okay, so you will observe that y is taken on the right hand side, at the same time 72 is taken on the left hand side. So we got minus 6 plus 72 is equal to 12x minus y. Okay, so 72 minus 6 is 66. So the equation is 66 is equal to 12x minus y. If we write it properly, the equation is 12x minus y is equal to 66. Number this as equation number 2. So we got equation number 1 and we got equation number 2. See, you can see equation number 1 as minus 2x plus y is equal to 4 and equation number 2 as 12x minus y is equal to 66. Now let us solve these equations. You will see that there it was plus y and here it was minus y. So simply by adding, they will get cancelled. So let us add equations 1 and 2. So write down them one below another. Minus 2x plus y is equal to 4 plus 12x minus y is equal to 66. You will observe that plus y and minus y is cancelled. And here minus 2x plus 12x, that is going to give you 10x. So we got 10x is equal to 70. 66 plus 4 is 70. And from that we will get x is equal to 70 divided by 10, that is x is equal to 7. Okay. Now put this value in any one equation. As I have said, you can put in equation 1, you can put in equation 2. So anywhere you have to put. So let us put this value of x in equation 1. So equation 1 is what? Minus 2x plus y is equal to 4. So we are replacing x by 7 here. You can see that x is replaced by 7. So minus 2 into 7. Either you write it in bracket or you make use of the into sign, multiplication sign. Okay. So x is replaced by 7. So minus 2 into 7 is minus 14 plus y is equal to 4. And from that y is equal to 4 plus 14, as y is equal to 18. In this way we got the values of x and y. But see the question, what we have to find is, we have to find the fraction. So write the fraction. The fraction is what? X upon y. That is, our answer is 7 upon 18. Value of x upon y is equal to 7 upon 18, and therefore the required fraction is 7 upon 18. The final answer is written as statement. Always keep this in mind. As I have said previously also, it carries half mark. So you need to write it every time. Okay. Let us go further now. Okay, so I am starting with problem set, and what you will find is every problem set is starting with MCQs. MCQ means multiple choice questions. Question number 1A is of MCQ. Okay, so here I have marked the correct answers, but it is not that easy to get the correct answers. You have to solve the equations to get the correct answers. See the first one. To draw a graph of 4x plus 5y is equal to 19, find y when x is equal to 1. So you put x is equal to 1 in that equation. Solve it actually. Okay. So when you put x is equal to 1 here, you will get 4 plus 5y is equal to 19, and from that when you solve, you will get the value of y as 3. Why? Because you will get 5y is equal to 15, and therefore y is equal to 3. So the correct answer is marked here by me. Question number 2 is very easy. It depends on the Cramer's rule. For simultaneous equations in variables x and y, dx is 49, dy is minus 63, and d is 7. Then what is x? So just recall Cramer's rule, that what is x? X is dx upon d. So 49 divided by 7, the correct answer is 7. That is option A. In exam only you have to write down the option A, B, C, D. Even it is not compulsory to write down the answer. Okay, only writing the correct option is enough. Question number 3 is of determinant. Okay, you know how to solve the determinant. You have to go for cross multiplication. 5 into minus 4 minus 3 into minus 7. So that will be minus 20 plus 21, and answer will be 1. Option number D. Fourth one. To solve x plus y is equal to 3 and 3x minus 2y minus 4 is equal to 0, by determinant find D. So as I have taught you, you write down D properly in between those two vertical lines. So here the first row will be 1 and 1, and the second row will be 3 and minus 2. And when you will solve it, you will get the answer as minus 5. So solve and see whether you are getting the same answer. Question number 5. ax plus by is equal to c and mx plus ny is equal to d, and an is not equal to bn. Okay, see, you will see that an and bm means again Cramer's rule is used and value of d is found. When I taught you Cramer's rule, that time I told that d cannot be 0, because when d is equal to 0, then the equation is not having the unique solution. But here, since they have given that an is not equal to bm, that means value of d is not 0. It indicates that value of d is not 0, and since d is not 0, the equations they have only one common solution, or in other words, it has a unique solution. Okay, so in this way you are going to attempt MCQs. Then all the remaining questions are similar from the exercises, so I have not taken that. I have come directly to the last question, that is question number 7. From that question number 3, I have just wrote the question here to tell you that there is a printing mistake in the question. See, the printing mistake is marked with green color, you can see here. Okay. Suppose that Anushka had X notes of rupees 10. That is not 10 actually, it is 100. If you are taking it as 10, you are not going to get the answer. This is a printing mistake in textbook. So please rectify the mistake. Replace that 10 by 100. Add one more 0. Okay. It's a very simple question and it is given in the form of activity. It is possible for you to solve. Okay. So I am not solving it. Only it is to tell you that there is a printing mistake. Okay. I am taking fifth sum from this. You will find that this sum is star marked. Star mark means what? Here you have to apply your skills. You will not get the answer directly here. You have to think and you have to solve it. Okay. So let us read the question. In a factory, the ratio of salary of skilled and unskilled workers is 5:3. Total salary of one day of both of them is 720. Find daily wages of skilled and unskilled workers. Okay, so here also you will observe that two different conditions are provided, and by using them we have to find two different things, that is daily wages for skilled workers and daily wages for unskilled workers. So obviously what is unknown to us, that is we are going to take as x and y. So let us start the problem with the daily wages of skilled workers and unskilled workers as rupees x and rupees y respectively. Okay. So write down, let per day salary of skilled workers be rupees x and per day salary of unskilled workers be rupees y. Be specific here. Okay, don't forget to write down the unit. Since it's a salary, you should write in rupees. Okay. For every mistake, you know that the marks are deducted. So be very careful. Now let us make use of the first condition. In a factory, the ratio of salary of skilled and unskilled workers. Ratio means what? Numerator denominator form. So we will write down that form here. So according to the first condition, x upon y is equal to 5 upon 3. Please note that 5:3 is same as 5 upon 3. Now when we solve this, here you will find that we have to go for cross multiplication. What we will get? 3x is equal to 5y. And then write the equation in standard form. So we got it as 3x minus 5y is equal to 0. Equation number 1. Now the second condition. Total salary of one day of both of them. That means what? Total salary of one skilled worker per day plus total salary of unskilled worker. Together it is rupees 720. Okay, so let us make use of the second condition. According to the second condition, very easy to write, x plus y is equal to 720. Okay, so the two equations are ready. Now it is quite possible for you to solve them. Observe the equations. Here you have to equate any one coefficient. Either you can equate the coefficient of x or you can equate the coefficient of y. If you want to equate the coefficient of x, multiply equation 2 by 3. And if you want to equate the coefficient of y, multiply equation 2 by 5. So, do the needful. You can solve in any one way. Okay. So, let us solve it. Multiplying equation 2 by 5. So, when we multiply equation 2 by 5, see equation 2 is what? X plus 5 is equal to 720. So, multiply everywhere by 5. So, what we are going to get? 5x plus 5y is equal to 3600. Number this as equation number 3. Now, observe equation 1. There you have minus 5y and in equation 3 you have plus 5y. So, when you add 1 and 3, y will be eliminated and you will get value of x. So, let us add them. Adding equations 1 and 3 we get. So, write down equation 1 on the top. Just below that write down equation number 3. So, 3x minus 5y is equal to 0 plus 5x plus 5y is equal to 3600. So, plus 5y and minus 5y will get cancelled and 3x plus 5x is equal to 8x. And on right hand side 0 plus 3600 is equal to 3600. So, you get x is equal to 3600 divided by 8, that is 450. So, value of x is known to us. Now, find the value of y by substituting it in any one equation, either equation 1 or equation 2. You know that equation 2 is more simple. So, make use of equation 2. Substituting x is equal to 450 in equation 2. Equation 2 is x plus y is equal to 720. So, replace x by 450. So, we get 450 plus y is equal to 720 and therefore, y is equal to 720 minus 450 and therefore, y is equal to 270. In this way, we got the values of x and y and then write down the final answer as statement or in words. Therefore, the daily wages of skilled workers is rupees 450 and that of unskilled workers is rupees 270. Okay, so this way you have to solve the question. These questions, all the word problems, they will appear for 3 or 4 marks. Okay, so in these questions, framing the equations is the most important part because solving all of you know. Now, let us go towards the last question of this chapter. Okay, in the textbook you will observe that one square is shown, that QR code is shown there. So, you can scan that QR code and get your answer. Okay, on the mobile phone you will, by using the scanner, QR code scanner, you can scan and you can get the answer. Okay, this question is little bit lengthy. Okay, and it is not that easy also. So, again it is star mark question. Let us read the question and then we will solve it. Places A and B are 30 kilometers apart and they are on a straight road. Hamid travels from A to B on bike. At the same time, Joseph starts from B on bike, travels towards A. They meet each other after 20 minutes. If Joseph would have started from B at the same time but in the opposite direction instead of towards A, Hamid would have caught him after 3 hours. Find the speed of Hamid and Joseph. Okay, so after reading the question you will find that it is very difficult, but try to understand it, try to analyze it. So, see here, places A and B are 30 kilometers apart and they are on a straight road. So, first of all, for solving this question, try to draw the diagram. Diagram will help you better. So draw a straight line and on that you show two places, that is A and B. And here you will find that there are two cases. In the first case, Hamid and Joseph, they are traveling towards each other. Okay. And the second case, they are traveling in the same direction. In the first case, they are coming towards each other, but in the second case, it is not so. And in both the cases, the time is provided. And in the first statement, the distance is provided. So immediately you should come to understand that we have to make use of the formula. Distance is equal to speed into time. Why? Because we have to find their speeds and time is given and also distance is given. So you have to think of this, that we have to make use of the formula distance is equal to time into speed. So let us try to understand both the cases. Before that, make use of the last statement to write down the variables x and y. We have to find the speed of Hamid and Joseph. Okay, so their speeds we will take as x and y, x kilometers per hour and y kilometers per hour. Always make use of the last statement to write down the unknown variables. Okay, so let's start with that. Let the speed at which Hamid is driving his motorcycle be x kilometers per hour and the speed at which Joseph is driving his motorcycle is y kilometers per hour. Okay. Here x is greater than y is given. We have to assume that the speed of anyone is more. Then only they are going to meet each other. Otherwise they will never meet each other. Okay. So one speed of the one person is more than that of the second person. It is assumed here. Let us see now case 1. So see, in case 1 you can see two places in the diagram, A and B. Hamid is starting from A and Joseph is starting from B. And they are traveling in opposite direction. That means traveling towards each other. And after 20 minutes they are meeting somewhere at point C. You can see point C there. Okay. Here we have taken that the speed of Hamid is more than speed of Joseph. So here the distance travelled by Hamid plus the distance travelled by Joseph, together it is 30 kilometers. It's very clear that the distance together is 30 kilometers. But you know that 20 minutes means time is given to us. And we know the speed of Joseph and Hamid. So by using the formula distance is equal to speed into time, it is possible for us to frame the first equation. So let us see how to frame it. Okay. So what is happening in this case is both the motorcycles are moving towards each other and they are meeting at point C after 20 minutes. But please note that the speed we have taken in the form of kilometers per hours. So these minutes we have to convert in hours. You know that 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. So divide 20 by 60 and from that we get it as 1 upon 3 hours. Okay. So time is in hours now. We know the speeds of both the Hamid and Joseph. So we can write down the equation. So here you can see that AC plus BC is equal to 30. Together the distance is 30. Okay, that means distance covered by Hamid in 1 upon 3 hours plus distance covered by Joseph in 1 upon 3 hours is 30. So see, speed of Hamid is x and time is what? 1 upon 3. Speed of Joseph is y and time is same. So let us make use of the formula and write down the equation. Therefore, 1 upon 3x plus 1 upon 3y is equal to 30. And if we write it properly, multiplying the equation by 3, we get the first equation as x plus y is equal to 19. So, by making use of the first condition, we found out the first equation. Now, let us see case 2 when they are traveling in the same direction. Okay. So, let us take case 2. When Joseph move in opposite direction, that means instead of towards A, he is moving towards C. Somewhere you can see that now C is on the right hand side of the B. Okay. So once again you will see the diagram. A is starting from, Joseph is starting from, Hamid is starting from A with the speed of x kilometers per hour, and Joseph is starting from B with the speed of y kilometers per hour. Okay, and they are meeting somewhere at point C. So in this case, clearly you can see from the diagram that AC minus BC is equal to AB. In the first case we did addition, but here we have to go for subtraction. Okay, so AC minus BC. Here also we know the speed, we know the time. So the distance covered by Hamid is 3x and distance covered by Joseph is 3y, and their difference is 30. So by using that we can write down here the equation as 3x minus 3y is equal to 30. And you will observe that all the three coefficients are divisible by 3. So let us divide them by 3 and we will get one more simple equation as x minus y is equal to 10. Okay. So we got two simpler equations. First equation was, what was the first equation? Just see, x plus y is equal to 90, and the second equation is x plus y is equal to 10. Now they are simple equations. Simply by adding them we can get value of x, and from that we can get value of y. So let us add equations 1 and 2. Write them one below another. X plus y is equal to 90 plus x minus y is equal to 10. So plus y and minus y is cancelled. X plus x is 2x. 2x is equal to 100, and from that we get x is equal to 100 divided by 2, that is 50. Put this value of x is equal to 50 in any one equation. For example, in equation 1, when we put value of x as 50, we get value of y as 90 minus 50, that is 40. In this way, we got the speed of both the motorcyclists, that is Hamid and Joseph. So write down the final answer as a statement. Therefore, speed of Hamid's motorcycle is 50 kilometers per hour and speed of Joseph's motorcycle is 40 kilometers per hour. In this way, we have completed chapter number 1 here. I hope you must have understood all the things. Thank you.